the data is so confusing, so it brings more clarity. So that's what I understand what data analysis is. So it's like logical and creative at the same time, because you're creatively, cleaning the data, understanding what you really need, the kind of data you need in order to get to a certain result.
Right. So
So
it's
that's what it means.
that's okay. But we need to have these 5 clear distinctive steps whenever you talk about data analyst. I know it's okay, generic, it's okay to be this thing, but as and when we move to more technicalities, right? We need to use these
Okay.
or the words around these 5 steps, and we need to convey that interviewer, like saying this is what data analyst is all about in these 5 terms. Say 3, 4, 5, 6.
Gotcha.
Again, see, we need to prove ourselves that we know data analyst, right? And for that, we have some distinctive steps. Generic answer, okay, it's art and science, and all those philosophical descriptions. But to make it concise, to make it more direct, right? You need to work on these, 3, 5, 7, 6, items where you should have at least 2 or 3 of these words. Believe me, you can say data retrieval, you can say data cleaning, you can say data, exploration is like data observation, data study, or data analysis for that matter, then modeling it, presentation, so visual presentation, and so on and so forth. These are IT terms, and we are moving into the IT job. So these are certain terminology which we must use one way or other. It's loose. It's not very hard and fast, but still we need to convey our technicalities, our capabilities, right? So for that, we'll be use some of these words at least. Just keep in mind, there's no right or
So it
good.
would be like, would you say something like, okay, data analysis is like collecting raw data, preparing it for use, exploring patterns and trends, building models to analyze it, and also, and at the end, interpreting the results to gain insights. It's like
So
it's a structured process that helps the organization make like informed decisions,
yeah, this
or
is
like data-driven decisions
yes,
efficiently. Does this sound more technical? Like, is this how you want it? Something like this?
yeah, you are just right on the nail basically. So this is very correct,
Okay.
and that's why I say we need to use some of these words because they are habituated to this, right? So
Right.
they do have their professional words connected to. If you go to doctor, if you go to lawyer, they have their own way of using words.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so
Got
this
it. Okay. So that's how. Okay.
yeah.
I get it.
Anything else we discussed?
Yes. And then you said, what does analytics mean versus analysis? So, and analytics is mostly the science, like you said, it's like process or tools.
Perfect.
I guess it's like it refers to techniques and systems used to analyze data.
Perfect.
That would be analytics. And analysis means breaking something down into smaller parts to understand it better. That's how I
Oh,
understand it.
yeah. Observation, study, analysis. That's the whole ball game. Perfect. You got it right. Chalo. Let's move on.
Okay.
You are
Mhm.
fine till till the
Yes.
activities we have seen. So
Yes.
we see data, we see quality, but we will come to this afterwards. This right. So let's move on. Now let's try to
Mhm.
understand. As data is normally a structure or non-structure. Let's try to understand this thing. What is structure and what is unstructured? Um,
Mhm.
how do I put it? When normally we collect data, right? Let's say
Mhm.
I do a kind of count population for that matters. Just take a vague example right now, and I go to place to collect data, and they will give me some, 5, 6, 7 pointers saying you need to get first name, middle name, last name, age, their religion, their beliefs, their working status, and some of these things, and this is just vaguely given to you, and you're going from, let's say you have around 500 houses to cover in a 4 5 days. Let's take it vague of vaguely these things. So how do you think,
Mhm.
how efficiently you can work, or how, what you can say, um effectively you can start collecting the data? What do you think?
Mhm.
You can understand.
How effectively can I start collecting the data? Is that the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Um, how effectively can I collect data? Well, maybe making a chart of what I need to know,
Mhm.
like age, religion, name, first name, last name,
Mhm.
having a tabular, like having a chart, a table chart,
Right,
and
right,
then sending it to them, emailing, text messaging, or
right, right.
that's,
So
yeah.
that table is basically kind of building a structure to it. Okay. So whenever you
Yeah.
structuring data, it's more efficient. And you know what points are covered, what points are not. But if somebody just take pen and paper and start working, goes to home number first and say, okay, give me a name, first name, last name, address, and blah blah thing. After a couple of houses, he or she might forget to ask middle name. He or she might ask to
Mm.
forget religion. He or she might ask to forget the work or beliefs and blah blah things. And this thing happens if you are not structured. So when you are trying to gather the data, retrieve the data, the first and foremost important thing is the structured way of doing it. Okay. Now again,
Okay.
in real terms, in real life, even in IT or big systems, there are some structured data and there are some non-structured data. I'll tell you why this happens. Somebody from Missouri is doing the population data collection. Somebody from Boston doing the population data collection. Somebody from let's say California is doing the population data collection. Do you think that
Oh, so everybody's tables or the information that they collect could be different, right? Like not everybody might collect the middle name versus.
perfect? So you
Is that
got
what
the
you're trying to say? Yeah. Yeah. So like basically everybody's trying to get information, collect the data, but it might not be structured. Like they might not follow the same pattern.
right? It's structured, but it's not uniform. Somebody
You
might
not uniform. Yeah. Yeah.
first name on the fifth column. Somebody might put the first name on the second column. You know the column and
Yeah.
row, right?
Yes. Yes. I'm aware. Yeah.
Column, horizontal as rows. These are very important
Yes.
when it comes to structured data or structuring data or having a
Yeah.
structured approach to collect data. These rows and columns classification is quite critical. This is the first step.
Yeah.
Second
Yeah.
step, trying to understand what is meant by uniformity. When you
Mm.
talk about these three guys, California, Missouri, or Boston, they're doing their structured way. They feel I'm the most structured person in the world. Are you with me?
Yeah. I got it. Yes.
Because in their mind, they are doing it very fine. But the uniform authority who is collecting the data, not given them the clear guideline or a clear structure, saying the first number should be the
Mm.
ID, which you shouldn't have to fill in. The system will do it. Second number should be first name, middle name, last name, and so on and so forth.
Mm.
This makes the
Mm.
thing uniform and structured. But as
Mm.
normally in the world, we grow, right? There are some
Mm.
Android phone, there are some iPhone, there are some Blackberries, Spoutberries, Blueberries, and all those things. So whenever you try to collect simple mobile data, normally it's not uniform. You can say it's structured, but it's not uniform. Are you getting me, ma'am?
I got it. Yeah. It's not uniform. Yeah. I understand.
The data collection overall means if
Mm.
you're accessing a B
It's
from
not the same across the board.
exactly, and that's
Yeah.
why it's not structured at the top. When you look at collecting, let's say Instagram data, right? Now, we
Mm.
have program that Instagram for Apple is different ball game because then these Apple guys have programmed it. Twitter, even the Twitter guys have built the application. They might have shifted these. Believe me, and this is a real life example. They might have shifted
Mm.
the column, and I don't know why
Oh,
people do it. Believe
okay.
me. So whenever you try to collect data in a big data set, I'll come to that. What is big data?
Yeah.
It's still unstructured at the end of the day. Or
Mm-hmm.
not uniform. That's the word we normally use. Unstructured is not the correct word. But still, they feel they are the most disciplined, they are the most, or the best data created in the world. But at the end of the day, we have a problem. Because whenever you start to build
Mm-hmm.
across, let's say, Instagram, across, let's say, Twitter's data, across Facebook data, these are the problem we came across. Facebook,
Mm.
Facebook का तो ये लोचा है कि
Mm.
in Android you have 6-7 versions.
Right, right. Yes, yes. Correct. Yeah.
You try to analyze, let's say I want to analyze in the
Yeah.
Missouri, let's say it's a Bible Belt, and I want to check out which type of sitcom they will watch because I
Mm-hmm.
want to get revenue, right? Whenever I build a
Yeah.
sitcom, I have a perfect audience, target audience in mind, saying in Missouri, these are the 5 or 6 set of zip code or counties. I'm going to address this thing. And believe me, Netflix is doing this thing right now. So within this zip
Mm.
code, okay, I'll come to movement later on. But within this zip code, these type of serials are maximum watched or maximum preferred rather than the other one. If you go to California versus Missouri, the sitcoms in California are more of science fiction type, more of unrealistic type, let's say. But when it comes to Missouri, they like historical, religious, Jesus, this, that, and other. Those
Right, right.
so, these kind of addressal is need for a business, right? So whenever I'm building, this is a need for me. So how do I process this thing? I need to get Facebook data because social media have a clear-cut representation of a human being. That's what psychology also says. So whenever Ravindra is using social media, he has a habit. Believe me, if you study yourself, you get the details. Like, when I wake up, I might see WhatsApp who all are basically messaging me and all, or I might or might not say good morning to all. I might say good morning to, 30 odd people saying, okay, hi, good morning. That's my habit because, I get really great messages from my MBA school and they're really good. So I keep sharing those, across a set of friends saying good morning. And, there's a message of 1 or 2 lines. That's all. That's what I do. I don't share picture and all. But again, some might like, some might not like, so I'll stop sending them if they don't reply. And this is my way of working. This is my of Ravindra's habits, right? And a clear cut what you can say persona, so called, in terms of social media presence, right? And to target Ravindra as an audience, I need to have certain, these parameters studied. And if it's done automatically, well and good. To do it automatically, do it in automated way frequently, let's once in a month or let's say once in a year, I need to have a structured and uniform data. Structured and uniform are two separate entities. You can understand that, ma'am?
Yeah, I got it. I understood. Yes.
How do you differentiate between structure and uniform? Just
Uniform is basically the same across the board. Like everybody is following the same pattern, doing it the same way.
right.
Structured is basically, creating a structure. Like, for example, if you want to collect an address, it's like an apartment, city, zip code.
Okay, pardon me.
That's structure.
Discuss this with you. Structure. Okay, how do we form structure in, let's say, Excel or a typical spreadsheet, be it a Google sheet, be it Excel, be it any data sheet for that matters. Vertical columns are categories. Horizontal columns are records. Categories,
Horizontal is
records.
categories, records. Okay.
Right? This is the uniform structure, or this is the basic uniformity in structure we should build in. And believe me, there are people who creates records vertically. I have seen people.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, okay. I understand. Okay. Now I get it. Okay. Yeah,
But
yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah.
person who is experienced, let's say 15 years in IT, they start creating their data structure, vertical record, horizontal category. Okay. Now,
Rather than uniformly, rather than, yeah, I get it. Okay.
this is
Then
like
being uniform.
start
Right,
right
right.
from left to right. Urdu, you got right to left, right? Now,
Yes.
no right or wrong here. We are trying to build a uniformity. It's like
Uniformity.
I
Got it.
like
Yeah.
black, somebody might like pink. So does that make me right, make him wrong, or her wrong? No. This is the way we adopted, right? English is a language which is normally written from left to right. Are you with me, ma'am?
Yes, I got it. Yeah.
Across the world, when I
So
write,
that,
I should write from right to left, and this is what we call uniformity or the basic
yeah.
adoption of society.
Yeah.
I'm basically going into depth because I know you have these things. So I'm using the word which are more aligned with the data scientist or a senior data analyst. Okay, so this
Got it. Yeah.
social uniformity, and where I normally have horizontal record and vertical categories. Categories or types. There are,
Yeah.
depending upon personality, depending upon their, upbringing and all. But normally in North America, categories and records. These are the basic uniform structure we follow throughout any sheet, any data structure. So whenever you write a table, right, you might have seen
Yeah.
many data structure, many tables written. They're normally written this way: horizontal record and vertical types. And this is
Yeah.
very important. If you can, if somebody asks, so what do you mean by data structure and what is uniformity? What is uh, misconception or what you mean by unstructured data. So unstructured data have all these, nitty-gritty elements into it. And I might say I'm the best person in the world. I'm very structured, but I'm not adapted to the uniformity of the society, uniformity of the, and these things do happen. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Got it.
this thing with data designers as well, data structured designer or data architect, as they normally referred as. But still, as a uniformity, as a normal data analyst, this is a must to start with. So when you say I clean the data, I might redo the structure in terms of and uniformity. So what I need, whatever data I have retrieved from, let's say, one source, there could be a possibility, right? You are retrieving data from 3 different sources. Might happen, right? Again, depending upon a company who is basically situated in 3 different regions, and they have these 3 different uniformity they have adapted to, and the data cleaning, as I told you, the most what I can say laborious way data analysts work is this one. So you have a person who is situated in, let's say, Missouri, using some uniformity in his or her own sense, and then in California, then using his or her own sense. Normally, horizontal records and vertical categories are normal thing, but still there are people who choose to use different category sequence. Record sequence, I can understand. If it's different, I can sort it out. But when you say category sequence is different, it's a laborious task, because depending upon the records, depending upon the data structures flexibility, some of the data database, they allow you to change the categories, change the columns within a bit of flexibility. Let's say Excel. So if you are above 100 rows, Excel gives you some problem. There might be some corruption, but otherwise Excel gives you a flexibility, having shift the column, or they call it move the column. That's the command we have in Excel, right?
Right.
To SQL and all, you are altering the structure. You are altering the structure of a database. Okay, I believe you work with MySQL or MS SQL, as you said, right? You're not work with any database. Okay, no.
No, I have briefly. I have briefly worked with it. So I know how it looks like. Like, I understand how to retrieve records. I've not done any data cleaning, but
Okay.
I've done retrieval of records and copy pasting it on Excel. But that's about it. Like just retrieving data and copy pasting it in Excel. That's it. Nothing to do with cleaning or arranging or anything like that.
Perfect. No problem.
So I have seen unstructured data, but now I know that was unstructured data. I didn't know that before. And I've seen duplicates and all that. Yeah.
I know this. Duplicate will come to that. Duplicates are easy to clean because there are formulas made by these, Excel means Microsoft or MySQL or Google Sheets and all. They have their inbuilt formulas, because cleaning is the stuff which we normally do, like blank record, corrupt record, and blah blah thing. When it comes to altering, right? Altering in the sense shifting the columns. Shifting the record is easy. Just sort, you just do some clause in whereas, and that and you can do it easily. But when it comes to shifting types or categories, the pain starts. Some of the data structures.
So 1 second, shifting data where, in SQL or Excel?
Okay, you have a table, like we say first name, last second name, last name, zip code, and blah blah things. But when I say I want the city name before zip, okay, requirement, right?
That's called shifting.
Shifting the columns, shifting the categories. Okay, now I can do it within, whenever I'm putting it to the UI. Okay, there are these layers of applications. UI is your screen, okay? Database is your backend. And there's a middle software which retrieves the data from the database and put it on your screen. Okay, let's say this is application 3-tier, like on your mobile. You're trying to find temperature in Houston right now. So what you do, you go to your mobile, go to your search bar, type temperature Houston. As simple as that, or temperature Houston. You do that, right? So when you push the Google or whatever search engine you are using, they go to the nearest data supplier for temperature or temperature range or forecast. And there are these various data supplies available within North America, within every city of the world, frankly speaking. So what they do, they get this data and they'll put it on your screen. Now, whoever that service which is getting data from the data service provider and putting it on your screen are basically, let's consider it as a 3-layer thing. A database as a backend, your screen as a UI, and the middle person or persons or layer or layers, doesn't matter. So these are the 3-tier architecture as we normally call it.
So one second, the middle person you said is it's called a layer. Like
Yeah,
the layer that you go through. Okay.
Is basically user interface. Whatever users see is user interface. Whatever database hold is a data layer or the backend. This is normally the way IT people talk. You might have
I've heard it. Yeah.
So middle layer or layers, there could be multiple because this search engine was talking to some, data service provider, and data service provider will say, okay, yeah, for zip code, I have the, value, whatever you're requiring. So what he say, he takes the zip code and he gives you the value. Okay. Value or values depending upon, whatever coming to your UI might be today's, tomorrow's forecast, past tense, future tense, whatever it will be. So these kind of scenario normally happens in Markdown. So when it comes, I have 3 different states giving me their own version of uniform data. Whenever I'm posting it to the UI, I might change it. Or that's what I prefer rather than changing these 3 guys wherever they've stored the data. Could you understand me, ma'am?
Okay, so you're saying the way it's structured in database could be different by the time it shows up on your UI, which is great.
Yeah. Or the agent in between, the middle layer can make it look like it's uniform, but in actual it's not uniform. And this is really cool. So normally we'll handle such uniformity errors through via middle layer. This is how IT people talk. So we address ununiformity in data structure via middle layer. This is the statement which I make you understand. This is very important for data analyst because there are something which is really laborious to do. So what I do, I pass the bug to the middle layer. I pass the bug to the application architect saying, hey, application architect, rather than me converting the data completely, why don't you just shift these columns across? Because data structure are normally not altered. If it's a big data, it's a mammoth task to alter any data structure. So what I do, the middle service layer, the middle layer, do it whenever the data is being fetched and put it on the UI. And believe me, most of the application nowadays are multiple layered application.
Okay. So this middle layer person you said is called, what are they called? They're called data what?
Layer. Let's call it middle layer for a discussion.
Just middle layer. Okay. Yeah.
You can call it logical layer, but or service layer, but normally it's called middle layer. And middle layer is also good. If you want to go more technical, then you can say logical layer, or you can say service layer and all those things. But let's not go that deep right now. We'll come to a point where I'll say use this word and I don't use that word. But
okay. So my question is, as a data analyst, do we also do this part where we are we the middle layers also considered as the middle layers?
No, ma'am. We are a UI person. We normally do the
UI.
Excel is UI, right? You are looking at it. Okay. But whenever you're changing column, changing record is you're just retrieving it, right? So I might retrieve the third, first, second, last, and all those things. These are easy. But when you're changing the columns, changing the category, that's a difficult task, even for a data analyst as well. So what we do, we normally do the data analysis. We might repeat the data analysis process for that part of the data separately. I'll repeat this again, after a few days or so. So please don't worry. Right now, just try to understand how this data stored in backend is normally put into the UI via a middle layer. Does it, ma'am?
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I understood. Yeah. So basically the data comes from the backend, and because it's not uniform, the middle layer transform the data in order to make it look good on the UI screen, or UI, which is the screen. Okay, I get it.
Now, some
Okay.
of the part of structure is normally not altered in the backend, and that's why we need to.
Correct.
Okay, chalo, perfect.
Ah,
So
okay.
let's start
Got
on-
it. Okay.
you got the category record understanding, right? Well, the
Yeah,
data
category is vertical, records are horizontal.
perfect. Well, data in
Yeah.
Excel can be laid out in many different ways. For some analytical feature, require the data to be specific structure. Now, this specific structure is normally given by the data analyst, okay? Or the guy who designed this database, data structure, and all those things. Challenge of blank data record. Now, we are trying to understand the structure of data and what are the challenge as a data analyst I need to face, right? Challenge of blank data record. And this seems to happen quite frequently than you can imagine. There are some data, and while fitting, let's say that population data collection example, Ravindra forgot to add, whatever 50 houses he did yesterday, he forgot to add 3 houses middle name or 4 houses zip code. This thing happens because of human error, because of, he or she might be working in a hurry and, all those kind of things. So as a human, we do these errors. So normally, blank data rather than record. Record is complete, number of columns in a row, but blank data is basically a cell, in Excel, right? Okay, let me open an Excel. Okay, sorry, give me a minute. Okay. Let me open an Excel so that you can understand. I purposely kept this, 2013 Excel. Give me a minute. I'll share this Excel sheet. Okay. Could you have a look at the, can you see the Excel sheet?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Now, A, B, C, D, these are the columns, these are the category, and these are the. So when I click F7, could you see? This is what is referred as a cell. This is a single entity of data called data. Or you can call data as well. And this is complete thing is record. Could you see a complete row is being highlighted here?
Yeah.
Row
Yeah.
That's the record. And this is the category. B is category.
Yeah.
When I say, let's say first I say ID, I say if name, first name, second name, surname, right? Then let's say occupation, city, zip. Let's have that much data, right? So ID, this is system generated. Ravindra. Pardon me for the spelling and all.
That's okay.
Okay, in India we have 6-digit zip code. And ID, this will be generated by the Excel. I'll tell you how we can get it generated, but right now I'm clipping it blank. Okay, so these are the kind of record I'm saying. So this is my record. This ID can be ID 0001. Okay, let's give it an ID, and I can increase ID automatically by just dragging these things. Okay, so I have created for 86 record, as simple as that. What I did, I click this thing, I drag this thing, right? Okay, this is not getting okay. Now, okay, there are some alphabets, there are some numbers. You see, whenever I type, this gets aligned to the right, this gets aligned to the left. Okay, so these are the alphanumerics or alphabets are normally aligned to the left, numbers are aligned to the right, and that's the default property of Excel. Can I change it? Yes. I have to just go here and middle align, top align, and there are various options. We'll have a look at it. But I don't know why it's not increasing. It should increase. Let me try this way. Okay, I need to give. Oh, sorry. I need to give at least 2 to make it increase.
2 numbers, yeah, that's what I thought. So that it knows whether to increase or decrease.
Otherwise, it just copies this thing. So this is 2. and it's get increasing now. Okay, you got it. Perfect.
Got it. Okay.
Like that. Okay, so these are the
So it
basic.
understands the pattern, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, great. Huh. So this is the way Excel works. And this is how we need to understand. And that's why we need to have one tool in mind so that you get synchronized with that tool, right? Learning a new tool is not a big deal. Once you have the basics in your mind, learning a new tool will really make your life quite easy. But let's start with one tool as a basic. Okay. And Excel is quite flexible and mature tool than any other tool available today. Even Google Sheet, they have their own way of, using formulas and doing calculation on all. But still, it's not, I'll say, uniform across. Sometimes they might change those things. See, Excel is being, what I can say, maturing for last 30 odd years. Believe me, when I started my career in 94, 95, there was a, spreadsheet tool called Lotus. Believe me, name was Lotus. And this was the first spreadsheet available for a given computer. And in those good old days, there used to have a green characters on your screen, like the older, older smaller phones, right? The phones which are not smart, those are very small screen, and you can see the dots there. If you really, so these are called, LED screens. So these LED screens, we used to have monitor like that in those good old days. And there we used to have these spreadsheet software called Lotus. And that Lotus is purchased by Microsoft, if I'm not wrong, in 97, 98 sometime. And they started building Excel on that. And there's another tool which called WordPerfect with IBM. So IBM, WordPerfect, and Excel are the two major spreadsheet tools available throughout the spreadsheet evolution. And these are kind of what you can say low-level database. Sorry, these are what you call high-level database. What is high-level? Whenever things move to more of English-like in IT language, they are called high-level. They normally referred as a fourth generation, fifth generation, sixth generation, and blah blah things. For Excel, you normally don't refer it as a generation, but you call it as a high-level software, high-level spreadsheet software, because you don't have to write query to retrieve something. You can, but you don't have to. Okay, that's the way this spreadsheet works. So that time they have decided vertical categories, horizontal records, and this is what they call cell. Cell is the interaction of category and record. Okay, so that's how you should understand cell. So when you say cell,
what did you say? Cell is a what? Like I know you said what did you connect category and records with? It is a combination, you said? Is that the word you?
Interaction. I've used the word interaction of category.
Interaction. Okay, got it.
Or intersection. No, sorry, I've used, I think, intersection. Sorry.
So is that the right word? Intersection?
No, it's not a right word. It just came to my mind. Sorry.
Okay.
You can say
combination.
Combination is the right word. I think, yeah, combination is the right word.
Okay.
Because these are not paths, right? Here we are talking about uniformity. Here we are talking about more of less a repetitive pattern. So that's why combination is the right word, I feel. So the combination category and a record is a single cell or single data element, which is normally called as a datum if it's too technical, but let's forget it out. Okay. So singular data is a cross section of category and record. Does that understood? Means,
okay, singular data. Got it. Yeah.
Right. And when you say record, there are multiple data elements, and normally present in a row. In normally,
there are multiple data what?
Elements. Number of data elements. Elements in the sense.
Oh, elements. Okay, got it. Okay. Data elements. Okay.
These things. Okay. So
sorry, no, the voice is cutting off, so that's why I couldn't hear. Yeah.
Switched off video because okay. No problem.
I think my video is off. Yeah.
Yeah, my video is also because these things do happen. That's why I normally
yeah.
But that's no problem. And this thing happens. So we might have to repeat certain things, and not a problem for me as well. Yeah, it's a bit of time, but I think these things will happen. Don't worry. Okay. So this thing. So do get an idea of structure, uniformity, and this universal structure we follow in terms of Excel sheet.
Yeah, I understood. Yes.
Right. Same thing with Google Sheet. So if you go to Google,
Mhm.
stop this thing. Okay, let me open the Google Sheet so that you can understand. Oops. Okay. Let me share. Okay. Could you see here? This is a Google Sheet. This is an untitled spreadsheet. I'm online now. docs.google.com spreadsheet, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, this is the category and this is the record.
Mhm.
Singular data element. Now, if I go to Excel, I can copy this thing just like this. I have copied the,
Control C, Control V. Is that how you're copying?
yeah, this is how it
Okay.
happens. I just copied the
Got it.
first 10 records. Again, these
Mm.
are the records. Now, let's try to do it same way. There are quite a few uniformity in these things. See, this is,
Same thing. Yeah. Got it.
uh, there are quite a few uniformity, but there are bit of differences also. So don't take it for granted, like, whatever you're doing will be do a similar way in Google Sheet, but more or less you get the look and feel, right? It's similar.
Yes. Yes, I got it.
This
Yeah.
is a Google Sheet. This is more uniform to share and all, but when it comes to, and this is free of cost, you don't pay a single dime to this guy.
True.
So normally people use Google Sheet, but if you look at the formulas, and we'll come to that, in a later stage, Excel is more matured in terms of, okay, I might need to share the complete screen so that, whenever I'm switching, give me a minute, please. This is Google Sheet here. I'll share the complete screen, no problem there.
Yeah, here they all use Excel only. Nobody uses Google Sheets. Yeah.
That's true. Mm,
Yeah.
I'm sharing the complete. This is a Google Sheet, and this is Excel. This is Excel sheet. Okay. Now let me try
Yeah.
to maximize the Google Sheet also. Can I? Okay, I can do this answer. Oh, this is good. And you have these table design and all those things. So many
Mm-hmm.
bit different, but overall you get the look and feel it's similar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is how the overall understanding of uniformity and the understanding of structured unstructured data. That's the concept really important. And we as a person, because when I start to venture into this career of analytics, this is a really must know. Many people forgot this, but believe me, this is the basic driving force. Whenever you start doing any analysis, trying to do any, inference generation, result generation, solution generation, you need to have this uniformity in place first for yourself. And you should be clear in your mind what type of uniformity you have followed. What I normally do in my to-do list or in my some scratch pad, I try to write what type of uniformity I have created for a solution which I am giving. So if I'm making a solution for client XYZ, I might say XYZ spreadsheet, Excel. These are the uniformity things I have used. And then I make some notes saying ki first column, second column, the record sequence, synchronization, and blah blah things. This will give me a clear idea of what I did yesterday so that next time I don't have to redo anything. Are you getting me, ma'am?
Okay. Got it. Yes. I understood.
This is very important, and basically I'll repeat these things quite often because many people forgot these things. You should know your structure, you should know how you achieved a uniformity, and then only you can do the analysis. If the things are not uniform, whatever analysis you do, you are just multiplying the errors. You are just wasting
Okay.
your time, and you're not getting to a result because of these uniformity or structure differences. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can't run a BMW with Dodge cast tire, right? If you're building a
Yes.
Dodge car, you have to have a Dodge tires, Dodge wheel set. If you're building a BMW, you should have a BMW cars, tires or that wheelbase or whatever you call it. This is
Yes. Yeah.
the uniformity is must, unless the car will really cripple or it'll give you more trouble than you can imagine. And this happens in real life data analyst solution as well. And this is the biggest problem people face. You're going to work in a team normally. In IT, we normally work in 4, 5, 6, maximum 10% team. So what happens? Ravindra thinks one way. This is my uniformity. Shailesh might think this is my uniformity. And we live in my uniformities. And whenever you try to integrate the solution, we start getting major problem. Either has to work in a way which is uniform as decided. So what, as a team lead, as a senior analyst, I have to define the structure and uniformity whenever I start building my solution and pass it on to the team. And this is normally what designers do, or the analyst team designer must do if data designer have not done it earlier. Okay. Now just try to take a homework and try to build an answer for what data designer can do for data analyst. Data architect or data designer can do for data analyst. Think it.
One second, I'm just writing it out.
Yeah, sure. I can understand that. No problem.
Does
what
data
designer or data architect do for data analyst or team of data analysts?
Do for a team of data analysts. Okay. So you could be. Usually, do teams have multiple data analysts?
Normally, no. In a given company, there's a single senior person, most probably like me, who have around 25, 30 years of odd experience, who normally sign off on a data structures. They call normally data administrator or data architect for that matter. Again, depending on size and shape of the company, they do these things. And these guys, they sign off on a data structure for a given client, for a given solution.
So data designer, data architecture, data structure are the same people?
Data structure is different. Data analyst and data architect or data designer are the same person. Designer.
Okay, but data structure are different people.
Data structure is a data structure. Like I say, this is my data structure. The first header is my data structure. Could you understand?
Okay, got it. Okay.
Normally what we do, we label this as a, I'll tell you how to label these things. I'll normally do a bold on this with bold. I normally center this thing with alignment now. Man, not more John. I need to format. Okay, in the format alignment. Okay, here is that. So even I'm learning these things. They keep changing these things. But yeah, so this is my header row. Header is my structure in an Excel sheet, in any spreadsheet. Same if I go to Excel, this is my header row. The first row is header row. What I'll do, I'll center these things and I'll make it bold. And even I change the background to a label where I can clearly, distinctively have these rows. I can freeze these rows. Whenever I'm scrolling, you might have seen this thing. We'll do the practice. Don't worry. Let's go step. Okay. I'm doing everything at once. So this is a separate row. The first row is my data structure. Okay. Now this structure is given by the architect or the data designer. Okay. Have you understood the difference between data structure and data designer or data architect, ma'am?
No, now I understood. I didn't know the difference before.
You can write it on your, own.
Yeah, I'm writing it down. Yeah, I'm actually making notes while you talk. Yeah.
I got my that licensing resorted, so now we can have the continuous listing, right?
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So I'll release this thing on YouTube, and you can have a look at it after. Sure. I might not make it public, but still, you can refer it to it whenever you have a time. And so this is the way. But yeah, writing on your own words then and there really helps a lot. And please don't worry about the schedule or the time consumption. Let me worry about that.
Okay, thank you.
They are going quite good, believe me.
Okay.
Okay, could we go ahead?
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Let me, take you to the presentation again. This one. Yeah, this one. Okay. So, so here, yeah. So guideline for a data structure. Okay. Normally, only one row label for a header row. Now, could you understand this statement now?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, because for a given, one sheet is my one database or one table. Sorry, one sheet is my one table. Do you know about database tables? Now you understood category and records, right? There are two more things to be understood. Is basically a table and a database. Okay, table is okay. I'll come to Excel again. This is my table. Okay, so I'll say table 1. Could you see?
Yeah.
So when I say go to another thing, and here I might have, so this is given to me by, let's say, Missouri guy. Okay, okay, copy. I'm just doing it for, simplicity purpose. And this one, they used to allow moving, now they're not allowing moving. Data. I have to move. Okay, otherwise I have to cut. Let's say text. Okay, and I can delete these things. I can delete this as well. Okay, now what happened here? This is my Missouri table 1, or
It's
and let's say
not uniform.
no, this is my California 1. This is my California. This is my Missouri 1, and they within themselves feels like they are quite uniform, and they are very well disciplined and blah 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 things. So these things do happen. Now, whenever you try to mix these things, try to retrieve the data for analysis, these are two different tables. Okay, but the database you normally retrieve have these kind of data, and that's why you say you need to have a cleaning. So when I try to merge these two tables or try to have a uniform table for my data analysis again and again, I need to make sure these things do match with each other. Are you getting me, ma'am? So my
Yeah, it's not uniform, right now, because your city is under the G, whereas in the other one, it's different. Under
exactly.
G, it's zip. Okay.
So
So
what
when it merges,
I need to rectify these things, and this is what part of the cleaning as well, or you might say remodeling. But yeah, this is a real pain in wrong place, because these are the things which we need to fight the most, believe me. And the
who
California
does data cleaning? The
and
data analyst does it?
data analyst most of the time.
Okay.
99% time data analyst only have to do it, because they are building a solution, right? And they might give you a sheet of 300 column, 400 rows, and so and so, and then they say, yeah, this is the way we got the data, and that's the way you do, and then tell me the inferences. And this is how it happens in real life as well, because again, as I told you, right, be it MySQL, MSSQL, big data, wherever you're retrieving your data from, these are very big database, and they couldn't alter their structure most of the time, and that's why data analyst is a kind of layer who address such scenario. And whenever we try to generate inferences, right, we need to have these visualized or remodulated data to be shown to business for clarity. How do you arrive at a given inference? So how do you arrive? This is what the cleaned model, and that's model give me an inference of these things. Could you understand how do we generate solutions as an analyst, ma'am?
Yeah, I got it.
So we are going a bit faster, but again, I'm jumping here because we are at a point, and we'll recreate these things again with a real life solution. But I'm just giving you a heads up right now. Okay, so whenever
So just a quick question. So the data cleaning happens where, in SQL
no, ma'am, Excel sheet or
or the Excel sheet? Okay. Yeah.
any type of sheet. See, there are some few companies, they do have their own spreadsheet software, something like Excel, but they might have certain buttons or menus additional, so that whenever you click them, they'll do certain things, right? We'll come to that. And there's a
Okay.
thing in Google Sheet as well as Microsoft Excel as well. So whenever you need to have some customized solution or customized what you can say calculations or customized processes for a given sheet, right? You normally create these macro programming in Microsoft Excel. In Google Sheet, they call it sheet programming. Again, it's a programming. So you need to do certain programming. Okay. We'll brush
Right. The formulas. Yeah.
right formulas or what you can say embedded number of formulas in a given script. What is a
Okay.
I normally write my to-do list, right? First these,
Yeah.
first, and they say, okay, no, fourth should be the second. Okay, first should be the second. And this is what you call normally script. These are again type of records, but these are kind of textual record, which are normally referred as a script. Script in the sense you normally execute from top to bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You might change the sequence as per your request, right? So this is what we call script. So within script, you normally have couple of functions or couple of you tell Excel do this, do this, do this, do this, and you normally run this thing on an Excel sheet. This is what they call program. You do certain type of permutation and combination.
Okay.
Like I told you, right? In a given all sheet called California, again, this is what they call sheet name. When you shift the data to table 1, change the G column to F and F column to G, or swap the column as they normally call in programming. Could you understand?
Okay.
Have the F
Yeah.
to
Got it.
whenever you are pulling the data from California to table 1. Simple.
Okay. Got it.
And this is what they call programming or macro programming, macro, MACRO, macro programming. Or
Okay.
programming sometimes, but macro programming is the most common word, or you can just refer as a Excel programming. Okay. So when somebody says, do you know Excel programming? Yeah. I'm not very advanced user of Excel programming, but I did quite a good amount of work around Excel, and we'll do it. We'll do some simple, whenever, let's say, okay, let me tell you the simplest possible thing. Now, if I want to, okay, let's say I have this type of data. Could you see, right? I'm just increasing the zip code for my purpose.
Yeah.
Click in the last this thing, and when I go to home here, there's this auto sum symbol. Have you seen this, ma'am? Auto sum.
Yeah. The total
It's
of the whole, what is it? The whole column.
okay. This thing I
Yeah.
did. I did it for the total of these many rows. So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And when I select this, right?
G2,
It gives you
G10. Yeah.
it gives you average down, and it gives you
Yeah.
sum as well. This is the inbuilt.
Yeah.
Well, this doesn't happen in sheet, but this is how they do it in Excel. Because
Yeah.
time when I have a look or try to observe this thing, what I'll do this and say, okay, count is 4. So for first 4 cell record, I have average sale of 40,043. Am I right? Yeah, 40,043 as an average sale.
Yeah.
Within the first count, the sum was this much, and so on and so forth. And this is I do on fly whenever I try to modulate my thing or visualize my thing. And we'll come to
Okay.
that whenever we do. These are the inbuilt function of Excels. These are not available
Right.
in Google Sheet, but we do these things. And these are very simple function we used to do for quite a long time. We might not know these are the inbuilt formulas of Excel. Okay. But whenever you click here, right, there are these things. Could you see equal to sum G2,
Yes.
G10, and in the bracket. This is what they call macro programming. This is what they call Excel programming. This is what they call inbuilt formulas or pre-programmed formulas. Okay. Or even I can write, let's say, I'll say here, I'll say equal to, okay, and I'll say SUM, sum, bracket start, I'll say G3 colon G9. Simple. Bracket close. Could you understand what happened?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay. So this is what you're in. Why is the error? Okay. The formula in this cell refers to a range that has additional that has additional number adjacent to it. So what it says, hey buddy, whatever you did, you left some numbers because G9 is below G3 is up, but this number and these numbers we've left out. So Excel is giving warning. This is a warning.
Right.
But these are what I have programmed my first cell doing a sum of certain columns. And I can do same thing. Let's say equal to this minus, I'm hyphen as a minus, and this. Okay, and equal to. What I did, I have added another formula.
I got it.
Okay,
Right.
And this is what they call Excel programming.
Yeah.
Okay, and these are, see, for the help, if you can see, this is the average here, right? So there are different type of functions available. We'll come to this function argument box. This is also we need to learn in some point of time, but this is the Excel programming. That's what we're going to do. This is the maximum we need to do. Okay, so don't worry. We're not doing any programming as such, but some touch base. So whenever say Excel programming, the interviewer shouldn't confuse you. Am I confusing you, ma'am?
No, I'm good.
Please stop me if I'm going to haywire and these things do happen. Okay.
Okay.
Here, if I do this thing, let me check out if Google should have this thing. Same thing or not. I have selected this. Okay, they have started giving some now. Right. Okay. Wow. Oh, this is good. Could you see it? Could you see?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that. Now, this is not because is this because of it's an updated version, or is it because the AI has been incorporated in there?
Whenever you're on cloud, you get the latest version. So how
okay.
Just click on the help. No man, they will not given this thing, the version of the this thing. Okay, let me check out if they have the version here.
Version history.
New current version. So let me check out. Oh man, I don't have to label version here, but I need to check out the actual version, right? See version history. So today version is oh man. No, it's not showing me version. So they have not labeled it yet. So this might be the what they call beta. Okay, so no problem. So this is how it happens. So they are also trying to improve. Okay, so you got the point, right? And these guys, see, the Google Sheet is the main contender for Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel normally sold as a Microsoft Office product entity.
Yes.
And it really, kind of, they have captive audience of around the percentile of 75 to 80%. So whoever have purchased Microsoft Office, they purchase Excel as an inbuilt function. Excel is a necessity or necessary part of Microsoft Office. If you look, something like Microsoft Visio, Microsoft Project, these are the additional thing. So if you purchase higher version of Microsoft Office, then you normally pay for those things. Otherwise, Microsoft Excel comes with the Office bundle, including Microsoft Word, Microsoft Outlook, Microsoft OneNote, which nobody uses, but still it comes with Microsoft Office. So these are the identity. We just need to know these things whenever we are discussing Microsoft Office. Sometimes even during the interview, we might need to specify these things, but not necessarily. And it's quite a rare phenomenon. But still, we should know. You most probably know, right? Are you using an Apple computer, or do you have a Windows PC or desktop?
I do both. I have both laptops. I use both.
Okay, great. No problem. Which do you feel more comfortable with? Which do you feel you more comfortable with?
Actually, both of them are fine.
Okay. I'm just asking because okay, then I'll be more generic because I normally prefer Microsoft. In India, it's quite costly. They sell it at American premium price, but in India, the options like whatever I purchased are Microsoft are quite at a lower cost, almost at 160.
Yes.
So that's why I normally use Microsoft thing. I used to have an Apple laptop around 4 or 5 years ago, but that's kind of okay. But yeah.
Yeah, but here at work, I'll be using, all Microsoft only. So
yeah, 99.
There's no Apple product used in the works that I do.
Okay, wow. So
Apple, it's all Windows. Yeah, it's all Windows.
Apple are good in graphics scenario. Believe me, if you're using page raw or movies for that matters, we have a really nice pixel density and all. But let me not go to the technical of it. But yes, Apple product are more visually, pleasing, user friendly and all, but the flexibility lack a bit. That's also true. No problem. So you got the point, right? How everybody is trying to match up with the best matured product. So even Google Sheet might change their scenario. So this is a disadvantage with Google Sheet. They keep changing the color, the menus, and the whole 9 yards of it. So it's a bit confusing sometimes to keep remembering how we used formulas previously and now it's changed and all. So this thing disturbs your normal work. So that's why Google Sheets are not that popular. Excel is more popular even if you want to pay their, licensing and all. But again, Microsoft Office is a kind of, default product if you're using Microsoft. Okay, so don't worry that. That's why we normally concentrate on Microsoft Excel as our main product or as our main baseline to understand analysis. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
No problem. So these are the kind of structure uniformity we're talking about. This is really important in terms of whenever we are basically building a solution, our structure and these things should be uniform across the team, across for a given client. Okay, and this data designer or data architect, they will give you the structure whenever you join a team, or they'll talk about these things. Okay, so only one row for labels or a header row. We don't normally repeat these things because these define the structure of the data of the table. There could be multiple table in a database, okay, and there could be multiple database for a given solution as well. But normally, a single database and single solution is a de facto standpoint. Each column contains only one type of data. As I told you, right? Zip code should contain only zip. City should contain only city. But sometimes this do happens while inserting the data, while inputting the data, the person or the operator or the executive can, by mistake or by, time and tardiness might do some mistakes. And that's what we need to clean as a data analyst to get a clear solution, to get a better solution. Okay. Now we'll say, if there are a couple of records ignored, how my data analyst could change. Okay. Could you understand this question, ma'am? Out of, let's say, 1000 records, if there are 3 or 4 records, I will not consider for my analysis. Does that analysis result differed so much? What do you think? As a
yeah, I guess.
Will that matter?
Well, it depends on what they want, right? Like
Great answer. Believe
what
me. Normally, it does matter because depending on, again, we've seen this thing and we'll see basically the average, mean, median, mode, and all those kind of formulas. But to start with, even a single data row can defer your solution. Might be a few percent wise, but when it put it to business, they might have a severe changes in their strategy. And this thing do happen. We'll have a look at example. You'll get a actual feel of it. So even each row counts in terms of analysis. This should be our strategy. Each row counts, each record counts. So when you say, why do I spend so much efforts in cleaning, so much efforts in making sure the data is in line with the uniformity which we have discussed? This is what we are talking about. Even a single row can change the result. Like if you fail in a subject, right? You'll fail in an exam. As simple as that.
Yeah.
So similar way, when you ignore a row of data, it can be disturbing for a business solution whenever you basically build the inference on the base of ignored rows. And that's based on the non-ignored row. So even across 1,000, again, these are the benchmarks sent by the company, whichever company you join. They say, okay, 1% deviation can be understood, 2% deviation can be understood, and so on and so forth. They give you these figures whenever you join. So they'll tell you how much you can ignore and how much you need to really go. Some companies are real perfectionists. So what they say, 0.099 is the accuracy we expect from you. What does that mean? Whenever they say 0%, it means we need to be accurate to a perfect level. Within 10 solution, only I can basically make a mistake of one. So I need to revalidate, recheck my model, recheck my cleaning of the data quite a few times to make sure I'm giving the perfect solution to these guys. And these guys pay really good. So the guys who are really perfect, right, Netflix, they'll pay you top dollars. And that's why these companies are good to work with. Yeah, there's a bit of pain in, working. They might expect zero errors from you. And this is how, these companies work. Because we are playing with data, right? Even one single row ignored can make devastating inferences. And that's why it's really important for us to consider each and every row. And for that,
So is there is there a app or whatever, like a software or something that tells you that okay, you've made zero errors? Like
no,
how do you okay.
again, this is the artistic part of it, right? Do
Ah,
you understand? See,
okay.
you give me 1,000 records, and there are 6, 7 sheets, and this is a normal, thing I'm talking about. There could be bigger, but if you're working on some solution, let's say you are trying to understand illiteracy across a region of a given city, say St. Louis. You're trying to understand illiteracy across St. Louis city, and you are basically doing the population census. Okay, and population census include this illiteracy data as well. So in a given family, let's say in some region like Maplewood is a region of South Africans residing in St. Louis, or they have their maximum population in city called Maplewood, because I have stayed in near that area. That's why I know this, and that's why I'm basically sharing this example with you. There are, let's say, 4% of people where there are elders which are above 70s are illiterate. And believe me, this is a real thing. I've just
Okay.
when it comes to a percentile population, this is coming out to be around 6% of the total percentile population in Maplewood, where 6% are illiterate. Those are still couldn't read and write. Okay, and this is
Okay.
a type of thing. So when it comes to, if I skip, let's say, 4 5 rows in Maplewood, the percentage might go from 6 to 5%. It's just one single percent. But when the head of the city administration allocates some funds for Maplewood, rather than 5% people has to be addressed, the budget allocation totally changes in terms
All
of,
right.
you can understand, right? The
I
monetary,
got it. Yeah, yeah. I understood how it works. Yeah, I
it
get
can
it.
look good anyway. That's why all these scenario, even smallest number do matter. But some people, for the efficiency of it, for getting it quicker, they might say, okay, 2% error are, understood, can be done, because that data might not be that critical. So if you're
Got it.
doing height, population census, and you might, report the height, let's say from 6'2" to 6'1" by error or by some, something. Does that make anything differ in terms of, the clothing size might change, but city is not going to provide any clothing for these people, right? So there are hardly any financial implications or any such, there could be some, but normally when you compare to city administration, and the height record differences can be looked out or can be ignored. So certain scenarios might let you, do some errors, but normally when it comes to business, we normally do financial decisions. That's why we have to really critical, we need to really, what you can say, not critical, we really, attentive about such differences, about such ignorances. Okay,
Got it. Okay.
they're dealing with data, right? So as a data analyst, carefully looking for my personal error as a human is a need of the, duties, is a need of the overall, is a responsibility, basically. I think you got the point, right?
Yeah, yeah. I got it.
So
Yes.
each column contains only one type of data, continuous rows and columns of data, no gaps, no decorative rows or columns. Again, these things do happen. Whenever we work with Excel as a, normal person, right? We try to make it more decorative in terms of we'll have a gray area. So let's say when I say Maplewood County in St. Louis 63143, data finished after 200 rows. So then
Hmm.
I'm started with Clayton Road. So in Clayton Road, I might have another 200. I'll add a blank row in between. No, as a data analyst, that's a really bad decision because whenever you crunch this row, the computer could understand that blank row. So it says blank data and it will give you an error whenever you try to do some automated formula like sum and all. Okay, let me show you very in Excel, right? On the 8th row, if I insert a blank row, right? And I'll do redo these things again. So I'll say delete. I'll say auto sum. Okay, see, this is selected this, but again, I'll do this thing. For addition, it might not be a problem. Okay, but for so count is still 9. Okay, it's not showing me an error. Okay, for division, it can lead you to an error. Let me try with Google Sheet. Insert a row. Okay, and if I do try to do a sum, there's auto sum here. Um, Oh wow, they've added a data cleanup as well here. Wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I need to,
But
really
that's not an Excel though, right?
no,
Oh,
this
remove
untitled
this is Google Sheets. Yeah,
script.
no, I'm saying this is not on Excel. I don't know
No,
if it's on Excel.
but when it comes to learning, right? You might say,
Oh,
well, I like this function in Google Sheet. So the interviewer might feel, okay, yeah, wow. So she know about Google Sheet as well. See, they'll give cleanup suggestions, remove, and me
yeah.
even in this version only. So
Oh.
become wow, done with cleaning, remove columns. This is we'll have a look at these things, and this is what
Hmm.
is getting updated. So in some
Hmm.
summation they'll give there's a blank row, so I can't do a sum. This thing happens.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's why
Hmm.
there are no blank row allowed within you. Addition is the same
Got it.
formula, but normally use all sort of formulas, summation, deletion, divide by, into, and all those things. So there's a problem. Okay, so blank rows and data not allowed. No gaps, no decorative rows or columns.
Got
Break
it.
the data down to the smallest value necessary for sorting out filter. Okay, so whenever you try to filter, we'll have a look at it afterwards. Whenever you're sorting, be it alphanumeric, be it just the numeric, sorting in the sense you are arranging from increasing order, or A to Z, or Z to A, or larger to smaller. Okay, and you normally arrange the row depending on a type. Okay, why I'm saying depending on a type? See, here there's a trainer, there's a advocate, there's a businessman. Okay, I'm just trying to create a data. Okay, and this is the data I've created. Now I want to sort this thing. Okay, delete this row, otherwise it'll create problem for me. Oh wow, I'm doing it in this thing. Now, if I want to sort this out, right? So I right click on this. Does it have sort function? Oh wow, could you see? Sort A to Z,
Mm-hmm.
sort Z to A. When I click on same thing on numbers, see it gives me okay. Again sort A to Z. Sorry, in Excel this can be. Let me open to Excel. Okay, sort A to Z, and so on and so forth. So, when I do A to Z on numbers, right? Could you see 42
Hmm.
up, and they've changed these things. But I
Mm-hmm.
have selected even there is shifted the what you can say header row,
Header.
which is really bad. So I'll do Control
Hmm.
C. I don't know. So let me try if I can do this way. Sort. Okay, I can do. Now it says smallest to largest. Could you see? That's the beauty of Excel. And if I choose this one, let's see. And if I say sort, now it will say A to Z. Could you see the difference? This is what it's all about. So I can sort this out. It's already sorted, so there's no change. So expand the selection and all those things continue. So these things do happen. So this is how the Excel works. So whenever you get time, try to do this thing on your own with the least possible data. You can have a name, address, and something like this, and try to play around with this. So it'll give you an idea of this, simple function by right click, left click, and all those things. Okay, we'll continuously keep learning Excel now for sorting some formulas and applying the building the visual model also. Again, in analyst, there's no sequence for a what you can say, or we don't normally follow a continuous sequence like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 5. We might do 5 step for one table, 5 step for another table, and so on and so forth. So this is a kind of repetitive step you do throughout the day. So that's how we normally continuously churn out a data. So first we retrieve the data. We normally try to clean the data. We normally try to, rearrange the data or formulate the data, build a model, and then try to get an inference. If it's not really, comfortable, we'll again retrieve the data, or we might have a part of retrieved data which we are not analyzed yet. We'll do that. And this is how we work as an analyst. Okay. Now here, when it comes to sorting and filtering, we might need to break down the data. So if there are a data where city and zip code or the complete address in just the one column, we might need to break down the data. And there are some formulas given in Excel as well as a Google Sheet where you break down the data. So you say first word or the first so many characters in this column, next so many characters in this column, and so on and so forth. This is what we do in our Excel to clean the data or to rebuild the model. Okay, this is also called as rebuild the model within the Excel. Now, a simple example, address can be built out, the address or the apartment name, the city, state, zip. Okay, address is by the header, and this is how it should be done. And this is how we normally do it. Each row of data represents only one record. I have told you already this. The spreadsheet contains list of employees' personal information, one employee per row. That's how we create data. That's how we try to build data model, which is required for a given solution in uniformity. Again, no duplicate rows of data, no gaps, no decorative rows or columns. These are simple rules I have just given you, how you can call it as a structured data. And then you build uniform data for a given solution if you are working in a time, if you're working in a team, or even if you're working alone, you try to build a uniform model. You try to make a note of it somewhere. For this client, I'm using this model so that whenever you discuss with the client, like how you came to a given inferences, you might need to explain them the data structure or the structured data which you used for that solution, and how do you maintain it uniform throughout the sheet. Could you understand what I've said, ma'am?
I got it. Yeah.
Am I going too fast?
No. That's perfect. I like the pace.
Yeah. Thank you. Please stop me if I'm going too high. So this is about the overall data structure and uniformity. Now here we are trying to understand a kind of a spreadsheet or play around with it. Okay, take it as in what you can say homework, or try to play around with it. As I told you, so how do you play around with it? I'll give you this Excel sheet, all some data which I retrieved from a site, right? I'll give you this link. So I copy this link and I'll open it for you. Here and I'll click here and I'll insert this link. This is a company where you can download the actual spreadsheet practice data. So rather than me forming on my data, or rather It's taking too long. I'll share this thing on the, okay, I've shared this thing on the group as well. So you can find it out. I don't know why it's taking long. Could you check it if it opens for you there quickly?
Let's see.
The spreadsheet guru. That's
It
how.
did. Yeah. Yeah. It did. Sample data sets. Yeah. It opened up.
So there are lots of data exam. I don't know why it's taking so long for me, but there's some network issue with that thing.
Yeah.
So this is the
I got it. Yeah.
okay. Okay, this way. So they give you some example here. You can download
Yeah.
and run with it. Uh,
And play with it. Yeah.
yeah, there are some ads and also. So we are just concentrating on Excel first. Okay, so we can
Mhm.
go to Excel. Play around with this site, and you'll get a good idea how to do it and all. We need to do just the free one. Okay, you don't have to buy anything.
Yes.
Please don't. So
Yes. Yes.
there are some few example. Play around with whatever you like. You should have
Yeah.
a date.
I just got the employee sample data downloaded and it opens up perfectly
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
So play
Yeah.
around with it. Try sorting. Try your
Mm-hmm.
way. Hey, try to learn Excel by yourself rather
Mm-hmm.
than me guiding you every time. Because the way we learn from our experiences gives you the best type of learning. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll apply our progressive things like how to use this formula, where to use this formula, and so on and so forth. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there are quite a few such companies or websites available, but I believe this is the simplest one to start with. And these are
Mm-hmm.
what they call data providers, sample data provider or dummy data providers. So
Mm-hmm.
when somebody take a dummy data, you can go to such site and there are some data freely available. They might say don't
Mm-hmm.
use commercially. So when you're working with company, they might have their own data. But normally, as we are doing it for our own learning purpose, you can use this data. We are not going to use it commercially. Okay,
Okay.
just trying to understand how the Google Sheet works, how the Excel works. Okay, the format of Google Sheet. Okay, another thing, and this is just take a minute or two. When I say okay, there's no save. Okay, download. Okay, download. Okay,
It's a read only file, so you can't save anything.
no,
Like
you can.
if you make any changes, it's not allowing you to save.
Okay, could you share your screen? Uh, I'll guide you.
Sure.
Give me a minute first. Give me a minute. Give me a minute first. Here,
Mm.
when I click, sorry. Okay. When I try to okay, I have to give here a name, right? So I'll give some, let's say, 2nd May 25 RSC practice. Okay. This is what the name I have given. It just came to my mind.
Uh,
Now, to this thing, I need to download this thing. This is shared in my drive because this is associated
mhm.
my Gmail ID. So they have saved it in my drive, right?
Right. Right.
Again, I can save it again and so on and so forth. Otherwise, I need to download these things. When I do it locally, I might need to download this thing alone. Okay. When it comes to Microsoft Excel, well, Microsoft Excel is within is on my PC. So I'll just do click on this and it'll ask for a name and ask for wherever I want to.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Could you please share your share your screen?
Yeah.
I'll say stop share because I think it might be a problem.
Yeah. You have to. Yeah.
Just give me a minute, please. How do you stop share? Oh, man. They've changed this thing. No,
Oh, you're recording it, so it might not allow you to stop the screen.
no, they allow you to stop. I don't know why they keep changing these things. Background, background. Let me close these things. I'm not saving this thing. Okay, okay. Now they're going. Could you share your screen now? Please check it.
Yeah, I think I sent a request already.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll make you post. I think that's the way is to work.
Yes, I guess.
Make you,
Oh, can you see now? Can you see my screen?
I believe so. Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
This is the employee sample data that I downloaded from that website.
I still couldn't see. Give me a minute, please. Why it couldn't stop? Okay, all participants. No? But I couldn't see it. I don't know why.
Let me stop it and try again. 1 second. I can still see your screen.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, I'll save this thing. I don't know why I've saved this, but I've saved this thing. So I've killed the application which was presenting basically. Okay. Now, okay. Now could you please try?
I can still see your screen though.
No, yeah. Now your sharing started. Varuna, okay, and now I can see you. Yeah, please go. Okay.
So this is the employee sample data that I downloaded from the website.
So when you try to do it,
So if I try to save it,
no, you might have opened it twice, man. Okay, just say this is Office 365. Okay.
correct.
Okay. Enable.
It's
Yeah, try to click on those three basically. Oh, yeah, the first one here. Does it work? Yeah, now try to do it. Okay, go to file and do save as. Okay, now yeah, you would be able to save it in your hard drive. Yeah. What's the file name? Employee sample.
employee sale data. Yeah.
Please check out if you can see on your desktop. Yeah, this is the one, right? So it's on your drive. Now
Oh,
you
now it's on auto save. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine.
So you can do it.
Like if I delete this and I say, yeah, but
Okay.
turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and I think it's saved. Yeah, it did because it's missing here. Okay, got it.
Play around with this so that you know
Yeah.
you'll get a feel of it. I'll just say half an hour or so. Try do sorting,
Right.
date sorting, and all those things. Okay. Now
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
do data. How does that if it even there are missing end dates, if you can see here, right?
Yeah.
End dates, that's a n column number n, and wow, it's a substantial data, I believe. Just press
Yes.
control and end. Could you press that?
Control what?
Control and end. There's a button called END end.
Oh, where is that end button?
Okay, you're on Apple.
No,
You're
I'm
on,
not on Apple. I'm on my Windows. It's a Lenovo.
there's a control.
Uh-huh.
There's a left side bottom button control.
Yeah, I know that part, but
There's
end I'm trying to look.
there could be on the numeric lock. You might have to press shift or something like that. Or there could be end on a, I don't know, how do you call it? Delete, home, insert, end, page down, page up, 6 buttons.
Right, right.
So control end. I need to go to the end of the sheet. That's why I'm saying try to press control end. No, this is something different. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, just scroll down. The scrolling down is a pain. You need to
Oh, I just did control page down. Yeah.
control page down. Yeah, okay, control end. So you have 100 rows. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Could you see there are 100 rows? This is substantial data. And
1001.
columns
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 categories. So you have 100 records and 14 categories. Could you
Mhm.
understand me, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. So this is enough data to play around with. And this is kind of small size data, but still, I think, I believe you can play around with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah.
So let's stop here. I think you have enough things to discuss and work on that, and we'll meet again. So whenever you're free, whenever
Sounds good.
just let me know. Take a gap.
It's tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow is Friday, but see,
Yep.
need more time. Take your time. You don't have to rush it. We are going quite okay in terms of speed and all. Okay, I'll leave it up
No,
to you.
I'm okay with, I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm good with tomorrow. No problem.
Then let's do it tomorrow. No problem.
Okay. Perfect.
Chalo, let's meet up.
Done.
Okay. Chalo.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And in this session,